Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about Yoshi Takemiike, a Japanese communication scholar who challenged the Western way of thinking about communication. As a Vietnamese student living in the US, I noticed the most of the communication theories we learn in class come from the Western perspective. That makes me wonder what about communication theory in other countries. So that's why I choose Nietzsche. His work introduced an Asian-centric approach, showing how Asian values and communication style are just as important as Western ones. In this presentation, I will first tell you about Nietzsche's background. Second, explain his Asian-centric theory. And third, show you how this theory can help us communicate better in everyday life. So, who is she? Yoshitake Miike is a Japanese scholar who studied intercultural communication and worked at the American University. What makes him not part of the dominant culture is both his background and his research. He is focused on the Northwestern way of understanding communication. Unlike many theorists, he treats Western ideas as a standard. Miike believes Asian history, philosophy, and practice deserve to be the starting point of the communication theory, not just the example added at the end. He become a leading voice for the Westernizing communication study to move beyond just Western perspective and into a more diverse way of thinking. Why is a centricity? In simple terms, is an approach that puts an Asian perspective at the center when you study communication. Instead of only using Western ideas as the standard, it uses Asian values like keeping harmony, pay attention to the context, and focus on group responsibility at the starting point. So one clarification that Asian-centric doesn't mean against the Western. The Western theories or throughout the Western theory, Nietzsche isn't telling us to ignore Western theory. He's saying you should make room for Asian approaches too, to understand them on their own terms or not just compare them to Western style. About everyday application of this theory. In the team project, some people need time to think before speaking. Lesson-centric thinking tells us to make space for that. For example, after a big discussion, we could add a short quiet time or ask for writing idea before deciding. This helps maintain the group harmony and help us listen to all perspectives. In meetings, we can give honest feedback while still maintain a strong relationship. For example, in my computer science class, instead of saying it's wrong, we can we try another way for this function to match the module performance. This point, the point to get across where the group feeling are more considerate in a communication. If one avoid direct argument, Asian-centric thinking reminds us not to avoid avoiding the issue. It may be a way of keeping the group balance. Understanding different can prevent misunderstanding and reduce tension. About everyday application in the community and family. In family and community setting, person-centric thinking teaches us to pay attention to how communication must always pay attention to the feeling of the people involved in that communication, not just what we say. This means we should pay attention to the right time for serious talk, people's body language and tones, and whether to talk privately or in a group. I want to tell more about my personal experience. I learned to apply this approach in the classroom. When I disagree with someone, I start by affirming set goals, such as we both want this project to succeed before offering my own idea. This small change can show my respect for the harmony, make others open to my suggestion, and actually help us agree faster. It's not about avoid conflict, but handling it in a way that value relationship conclusion. So first, who is Mike? He is a Japanese scholar who shows us communication isn't just about Western way. Second, why What his big idea is authenticity, putting Asian perspective at the center of when we study how people communicate. But why is it important? Because whether we're in class, at work, or with family, understanding different communication styles help us work together better and avoid misunderstanding. As someone living between Vietnamese and American culture, me can work describe my experience. There is no single right way to communicate. We value different approaches equally, can understand each other better and get better results. And is the works cited page of my project.